What's going on, everyone? It's time to review Wayward Pines Season 2, Episode 3, titled Once Upon a Time in Wayward Pines. Spoiler review. Make sure you have seen the episode. It should take me less than 3 minutes to recap the episode and then give you the pros, cons, and final score. Thank you so much for joining me, man. Do not forget, a lot of new shows. Summer shows are starting to begin. This Sunday, I review The Last Ship Season 3, and then, of course, continuing The Preacher, reactions, and reviews, and like Scream Season 2, I'm reviewing Tyrant Season 3, Mr. Robot Season 3, or Season 2, excuse me. Just a bunch of new shows, man, coming out. It's so freaking exciting. Feed the Beast, which is an AMC show starring David Schwimmer and Jim Sturgis. Just a lot of stuff going on the channel, man. E3's next week, video game content, movie content, TV content, a lot of stuff coming on this channel, so make sure to check that out. And tomorrow, my review for Me Before You, which is an Emilia Clarke film, which just released last week. My review will be out for that, and then hopefully the pop star one with Andy Samberg should be out by Saturday night. So thanks again for joining. Let's get right on to it, man. Wayward Pines. Really, really, really good episode. It wasn't a great episode. It was disappointing at times, but it's good to have Melissa Leo back for an episode, Nurse Pam. I remember how creeped out I was in Season 1 with her, and then I was like, oh shit, that's like Melissa Leo. Like, I finally learned a lot more about her, and then, like, very talented woman. So, either way, first off, Jason has a baby. Jason Higgins, man. Melissa Leo or Pam, raised Jason Higgins, and also David, her brother, Toby Jones, raised Jason. Pam is in Jason's house in present day. The Abbeys may be gone. At least that's what everyone's thinking. Everyone's celebrating, like the Wicked Witch is dead. Or people are thinking that the Abbeys are finally gone because there's no sign of the Abbeys anywhere around the fence for the past few weeks. So anyway, Arlene flirts with Theo. Honestly, a little out of place and very strange. I remember Arlene being weird, but not that weird. I guess it's been a long time, man, because she was like, she's very talkative and annoying, and you're like, you just want to punch her in the face, and but come on, she is annoying. You could agree. I wouldn't do it, but you're just like, shut up, sort of so coffee diner waitress woman sort of girl that she is, Either way, they end up, or not that, excuse me, I'm sorry. So there's talk of, between Pam and Jason, and she's going to end up helping Jason out. So she grabs this needle in the hospital. She ends up talking to Theo a little bit, kind of a weird mix. You could tell Pam's up to something. Theo's not dumb. And all of a sudden, in the school of Wayward Pines, what's the one thing they're learning about? Procreation. Where was this class when I was in school? So they're talking about procreation, basically, man. And, like, it's so weird because Megan's like, I know a few of you got started already, and it's, like, so awkward because these people are, like, 12, 13, 14 years old, and they're pregnant, and, like, they basically, their job is to have babies. That's their job. That's why they're important. Other than that, like, oh, shit, she died of a flu? Who cares? Like, they're very important, that first generation there, and your number one rule in life, have kids with this person. That person there. Me? Okay, she's hot. Oh, I don't like that guy. Too bad you're having kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty dope, actually, but then again, it's pretty weird. But it's awesome at the same time. So, either way, procreation for Wayward Pines. So that happens, man, with kids, basically, is what's going on. Theo questions his wife about Hawaii, and Megan ends up catching Pam. Megan's the one in the wheelchair. She catches Pam trying to steal this medicine, or this bottle that holds this disease. So Pam ends up getting this bottle of medicine. She ends up going... Theo goes to Pam, and he still questions her about Hawaii, because earlier she said something about Hawaii, and she just basically said, you were chosen, you are one of the chosen ones. So Pam ends up injecting herself with this drug, and we find out that she has chickenpox. She infected herself with chickenpox, but the thing is, when she went to this meeting, she kissed Jason, which I was like, holy, like, no, I don't, that was so random, like, she's all, like, dressed up, moody and everything, and it's like, that's kind of basically your mom, but, turned into Game of Thrones real quick. So either way that happens, man, and people enter the room, of course, Theo and Megan, he's like, everybody, leave you stay right there. So she ended up having the chicken pox. She gets quarantined. After that, Jason chokes her in the woods and basically kills Pam. So they burn the body. Theo cries with Rebecca about this whole thing about his dad's watch and everything, and like they used to get beers all the time, like every Thursday at 5:30, and what happens now when his dad calls wherever they are. But then again, I mean, how are you going to meet your dad at 5:30 if you were in Hawaii? I mean, it's yeah. So either way, it was very well portrayed by Jason Patric about the whole thing about like, what about our family? What did they think when they called missing file report and all that stuff? Very, very intense little speech going on there. Either way, CJ watches Pam burn at the end and had a disoriented like piano note and everything. Really, really nice finish for the episode. Overall, what did I think about this episode, season 2, episode 3, 4, Wayward Pines overall? Let me get started with the pros, the good stuff. I gotta say, Melissa Leo as Pam, very awesome to see her again, and the whole new hair look and everything, that could have worked, man. That could have worked, because at times she didn't look like the Pam from season 1. It almost looked like a different actress at times. But I enjoyed Melissa Leo coming back. I'm very glad that she was back. What sucks is that she died. That's one of the cons in a sort of way, because you could have used Melissa Leo, because I fear that everybody from season 1 is dying. 85% of the cast from the original has died. And like, what about Teresa, Ben's mom? She's one of the most boring characters out of the whole damn show, and you still have her alive. Ben's gone. Ethan's gone. Put her out of the show. She's no longer needed for the show. But still, I enjoyed Pam. I enjoyed Melissa Leo being back on there. The ending of the episode, the whole, again, disoriented piano, CJ looking at the body burn, it had a very weird thing, like what's going to jump out, but nothing jumped out. That sort of like feeling going on. Something will jump out of the flames. The flashbacks. I love the whole once upon a time in a town called Wayward Pines, and just a bunch of this old flashbacks going on where we end up seeing the story of Jason, and it gives Jason more character. It gives him that he's not a monster. It gives him human elements. It gives him backstory, and we do learn a lot about Jason. And honestly, I forgot Jason was in the first season, because they ended up showing a flashback where he was like, I killed them in the prison or in the jail, and I remembered that episode. And even Ethan tried to stop him, I believe. But I was like, I remember this guy. No wonder he was in season 1. Really, really awesome. I'm very happy the way they did the flashbacks, even from young Jason to the Jason from today. Abby's up close. There was that cool shot where they showed the Abby's real close up, and they're like, Rah! That looked beautiful, man. That was a very, very beautiful close shot. The makeup effects and everything looked totally perfect. At least I think it's makeup. It may just be a total CGI character, but most likely not. I'm pretty sure it's just makeup. And also Theo on the watch. That was another awesome scene with him and Rebecca, where Rebecca wasn't really that annoying. She actually kind of synced with her husband. And also there's talk like she never got her wedding ring back, but I still think she was married before Theo ended up waking up. So that's just another theory that I have out there for Wayward Pines Season 2. Now the cons, the bad things I didn't like about this episode. First off, it didn't feel right at times, and I think many people possibly could agree with me that times of this episode, it didn't feel right. There were, and I understand new feelings, new content, new stuff for a season. It doesn't have to feel like season 1, I'm not saying that, but it felt weird. This episode, like parts of it took 20 minutes in, and it was so different and so out of place, and it just didn't feel right. It didn't hit my soul. It didn't hit my heart like usually Wayward Pines does. Even with the slow pacing, because this is a slow-paced episode, and I enjoy that it's more about Pam and Jason. It really gives them more characters, but just to kill Pam off, because technically she didn't have to die. She could have just went back to her house and lived her regular way. She didn't have to die. The whole chicken pox and the whole, really think about it. The whole chicken pox act, it didn't work out very well. The way they did it didn't end up really, it was just sort of a waste of time, this whole thing of an episode trying to get the chicken pox and all that, where she got quarantined, everyone's safe, nobody is with chicken pox. So all of that kind of failed, for all that reason. So either way, that didn't work out very well. And also, CJ barely had any input. The character CJ, like, he's from Pam's past too, and yet he barely has any input in the whole episode. Like, I love the ending, the whole look of how he looks at the Pam burning, but where is that, like, input? Like, he barely talks in the present day, and I want to see a little bit more of him, because at the end it makes him look like a bad guy in a sort of way, but last week he wasn't a bad person, nor in the first episode. Like, they're not, they're not bad, he's not a bad guy. So it's kind of a mix-up of, this episode being slow. It didn't feel quite that right as, that Wayward Pines feeling. It just felt a little wacky. It felt off place, the way they brought Pam. And that's not the Pam from season 1. Like, it felt so different of a different Pam. And even, I don't remember, because I thought she I thought she went under in the first season, like, where she went back to sleep. But I guess they put her in a house. Like, I wish they could really recap that a little bit more, because last time I remember that her brother ended up making her go to sleep, and then they woke her up again. Okay, now I understand. Alright, but like, they really didn't explain much of what she's been doing besides just being in the house and just hiding, like, little stuff like that. Overall, I'm gonna end up giving this Wayward Pines episode a B-. I thought it was a good episode, man. It wasn't a great episode, but it had a few entertaining moments within the thing. Melissa Leo did an awesome job coming back. Very happy for her, but it sucks that we lost Melissa Leo in this show. Like, she really was awesome in the show. Jason Higgins, we learned a lot more, brought in more character, more depth, more character customization or improvements, and then we didn't get to see Theo much this episode, which I'm kind of disappointed and bummed of, because I rather would have saw a little bit more Theo Yedlin. But, again, CJ needed a lot more input. Like, this isn't a perfect episode. It wasn't a great episode, but it wasn't, like, a bad episode either. So, comment down below, tell me what you guys thought about this Wayward Pines episode, and I'll be seeing you guys next Wednesday for more. Next week looks really awesome. Looks like somebody from outside of Wayward Pines enters, and they have a beard. They look very wilderness and very barbaric. So I thought it was Ethan at first. I thought it was Matt Dillon. I was like, what the fuck? He's alive? And then it's not Matt Dillon. And I was like, oh, that wouldn't make sense either way, but it's a TV show, so it even sounded like Ben at first. And I was like, Ben grew a beard and everything? How long has it been? Maybe I don't know, time travel, shit like that. I'm not sure. Comment down below, tell me what you guys thought about the Wayward Pines episode. Make sure to like, comment, and share, and hit that subscribe button for more. Until next time, bye-bye.